This video clip will demonstrate how Lab 8 should work. If you recall, Lab 6, we had you use inline styles only on your web pages, just to get experience with how you could add a style attribute to every HTML tag and style it. In Lab 7, we moved away from inline styles and went to an internal style block, which basically was inside of, and I'll show you part of Lab 8 here. We can cheat a little bit. But instead of putting it right on the tag itself, right, what we did is we put the style, for an internal style, you would put the style tag up here, right? And it would be type equal CSS. And then you would put your styles in here. You could create class styles with a period, right? You call it, you could put a, oops, a period there. You could put a style on like the body tag and just put a style there on an HTML tag. Or you could use a period and create a class style, my style, whatever you're going to call it. And then you could use that as a class, or you would put, let's put a, make it a color or something like that. Color, red, for instance, right? And then you could use that class style on any tag, right? You could do class equals, and then you should come up with my style here someplace. It should be in the list. There it is, my style. And then that would take on, in this case, the table would take on my style. All the text would be red. So that's an inline style with a class, and then with a pound sign, of course, it would be an ID. So you could say that, if you gave each element an ID, you could say, for instance, table year, right? Table year, right? Could be, you could have a style there for that, and then put whatever styles you want inside that. So the ID tag, or the ID element, the ID attribute is associated with the pound sign. So that was basically Lab 7. So now what we want you to do is we want you to create external style sheets. Take out all the internal styles from every page and put them into a styles.css file that you can see here. And this is the way you link it in to every page, right? So you can link it into all your pages that way. Now you have to try to avoid some duplication because maybe you'll have a style for a TD section with a for border. Oops, where's my and you might not need to repeat that. So you want to make sure that you don't reuse styles if possible. And so you might want to just put them in one page at a time, and then figure out what you can get rid of. You can use the ID styles, or you can use the class styles to help you out. All right, you can do it that way. And then when you're done, your page should look pretty much like it did from Lab 7 and Lab 6. There shouldn't be really any changes. The only thing you've changed is where the styles are located. So this should pretty much look the way my Lab 6 looks, and down here, okay? So not too much difference, I don't think. All right. So then once that's done, we want you to create a print style sheet. And a print style sheet, if you look at some of the other video clips, it shows you how to do that. Basically, if you go back to the home page, what we want you to do is you can see how this looks right here, but when we print it, we want it to look different. So let's say if we go to print preview, right, in Chrome, we want it to take up the whole page. All right. So we want you to increase the height of the cells so that it takes up the whole page. I think the width could be changed too. I can't remember. I have to look at the specs. But definitely we definitely want the height of the cells. I think it's to 200 pixels. Okay. So then when we go to the month page, you can see what this looks like. We want the picture to go away. Let's say we want to save our ink. We don't want the picture to print. All we're interested in is the dates, and we want the cells to be a little bit bigger. I think we said we want them 50 pixels in height, and we want to hide the image. So then if we do this on the month page, it should look similar to this. Okay, again, we're saving on ink, right? The whole idea here is to get you to some experience using a print style sheet, right? And then on the day page, go to the day page. Right, this takes up a little bit of room. We have, I think, our line height of 50 here, maybe 35 here, and we want to scale it down. I think this is 15 line height, and this goes down to 20. All right, so let's preview this one and see what this looks like. So you want to do that for the print style sheet only, right? And as it goes down here, now you can see it's more compressed on that page. All right. The next thing you want to do is we want you to, let me go back to the home page, is we want you to do an overriding style. In other words, we want to take a style that's in the external style sheet. We want you to create an internal style block, and override a style from the external style sheet. Basically, say in the external style sheet you had a color of red, and then in the internal style sheet you changed the color to green. you just overrode the color from the external style sheet. The same applies for an inline style. If you had an external style and the color was green and you wanted to make it red, you would put an inline style on that page and it would override that external style sheet. You can also use inline styles to override internal styles. Okay, so you can override styles. So we want you to do that. So I'm going to pause the video for a second and we'll pick up. I'm going to show you the effect, what I'm going to do, and what my overrides look like. I've made my changes now. Might be a brief delay in the video clip. What I've done is I've created an internal style that will override the heading color here. So if I refresh this page, and I've created an inline style to change the T-head color. So I'm going to change the color of the H1 tag using an internal style. Okay, and I'm going to also create a inline style to change the background color of the T-head section only on the default page. So refresh, and that's what it looks like. You can choose the colors of your choice, but I want you to do an overriding style, at least to get some experience with that. Okay, so that's what your Lab8 should look like. Again, it's pretty much the same layout. We've added a print style sheet. We've done some overriding styles. We've added probably more class styles and more ID styles. You can pick and choose what you need to do there to make it work. Okay, so try and do some experimentation there and see how you do.